What happens when you try to chase your creative dreams and everything goes hilariously wrong? And what do a witch, her stoic ogre bodyguard, and a duo of obsessed fan creators have to do with digital disasters, doujinshi drama, and cosplay chaos? Buckle up, because Witch Watch episode 23 doesn't just deliver magic. It serves up a full-on, heartwarming, laugh out loud backstage look at how fan passion can lead to wild success, even when disaster nearly strikes at every turn. Here's your deep dive recap and ending explained, so stick around. So this episode shifts the spotlight a bit away from the usual magical shenanigans of Nico and Morihito, and instead zooms in on the world of fan creation. Specifically, doujinshi, fan-made manga. Instead of fighting off monsters or dealing with accidental spells gone awry, we're thrown into the drama of making your very first big creative work. Right from the start, the episode sets up a quietly high-stakes story about ambition, anxiety, and the ridiculous, unpredictable obstacles that anyone who's tried making something knows all too well. Our stars for most of this episode are not Nico and Morihito, at least not at first. Instead, we start by peeking into the lives of Ms. Yuri Makuwaha, Dengeki Melon, a teacher and die-hard canon purist, fan writer, and Hami Urashino, a talented but insecure young artist. The two are working together for the first time to create a doujinshi based on their favorite series, Aran Mirage. This is their absolute passion project, but as anyone who's ever done group work knows, there's tension from the get-go. Dengeki Melon is struggling to nail down the manga's layout, while Hami feels the pressure to really step up her art game. Right off the bat, the two are exposed to the classic creative anxiety. What if I'm not good enough? What if I can't finish on time? What if nobody gets what I'm trying to say? There's even a whole bit about Hami feeling like she's missing that secret ingredient to really pull readers in. Such a relatable feeling. To lighten things up, Hami reveals that she's started chatting online with a new friend named Catch Me in the Limelight, who's been super supportive and they get along great. But wait, the classic internet danger flags start waving. Is Limelight really another high school girl, or possibly some creepy old dude pretending to be young? Makuwa, being both a teacher and naturally suspicious, fears for Hami's safety and launches into protective mode, determined to get to the bottom of who this Limelight person really is. So when Hami drops that she is going to meet up with Limelight in person, Makuwa insists on accompanying her. The big offline meetup arrives and, in a twist that totally undercuts all the suspicion, Limelight is indeed who she said she was. Not an old guy, but a bubbly and enthusiastic high school girl obsessed with emojis and with a weirdly old-fashioned way of speaking because she grew up chatting with her dad and his friends online. Makuwa is both relieved and embarrassed for having doubted her, and Hami's new friendship gives her a creative epiphany. Sometimes misunderstandings and the gaps between what's expected and what's true are the real secret ingredient for a compelling story. The girls, with fresh creative energy, pour themselves into finishing the doujinshi. There's an adorable scene where they struggle to agree on a group name, finally settling on Fave Fanart File, a name that's part silly, part fitting, and they register for their big fan event where they'll debut their first book, The Fading Heart is Ever Vague. But, as any creator can tell you, the deadline monsters are lurking around every corner. The two run into technical disasters, files don't save, Crucial pages vanish from their comic, and time is ticking away. In particular, page 23. A super important scene goes missing in a move, vis, copy digital catastrophe, and there's a gut-wrenching moment where it seems like weeks of work could be lost. Instead of giving up, Jaime proposes not just to redraw, but to do it better. There's a palpable sense of growth here. These are no longer just fangirls, but creators committed to finishing together, come what may. They power through by uniting their strengths. Jaime redraws. Makua tweaks the afterword to be more and their resolve wins the day, squeaking in their printing order mere minutes before the new, extended deadline. Of course, the universe isn't done tossing curveballs. The day of the event arrives. Their printed doujinshi arrives in 10 HEAVY boxes instead of just 100 copies. Way more than they wanted, and their booth is about to get swamped. Enter Nico and Morihito, who show up both to help and to protect. Nico puts her magic to the ultimate mundane test by shrinking boxes and, hilariously, reprinting missing speech bubbles using a marker and her own magical stamp printer charm. There's even a mishap where, due to the color, printing magic going slightly awry, Morihito's hair turns stark white, making him look exactly like Oboro, a main character in Uran Mirage, causing even more buzz among the event goers. The crowd swarms, and the event staff have to move their booth to the end of the aisle to accommodate all the eager fans. The energy is frantic, overwhelming, and joyous, surrounded by excited fans. Surprised by the attention and gratitude, Jaime gets to experience what creators dream of. The people reading your work are right there in front of you, excited and moved. Their book becomes a surprise hit, selling out all 1,000 copies. The magic of community, online passion, and real world connection coming together in a way even the girls didn't dare imagine. After the adrenaline fades, Jaime and Makua reflect on what really mattered. Sure, it was amazing to sell out, but even more important was the feeling of being part of this fandom, meeting new friends, and realizing they pulled off something together that neither could have accomplished alone. As the event closes, there's the sweet reveal. They're already fired up for the next event, with new stories to tell and new dreams to chase. Caught in that creative loop every fan knows. Once you create for a community that loves what you do, you can never really stop. Before we jump to the end, let's talk about what makes this episode twist so sharply from typical Witch Watch shenanigans. It's not about high fantasy or spell slinging. It's about how creativity can feel like its own kind of magic, with risks and setbacks and triumphs that are every bit as spectacular as any duel. And in a clever meta moment, all the chaos, from digital heartbreak to crazy printing errors, mirrors the way magic in the Witch Watch world often works. Docs unpredictable, messy, but always brimming with heart. The ending is a perfect snapshot of the emotional arc. Jaime realizes her journey isn't just about showing off her art. It's about sharing part of herself, bonding with kindred spirits, and bravely navigating all the chaos that both magic and creativity bring. Even when mistakes happen, empty dialogue bubbles, wrong colored hair, those flaws become the glue of their story, making the win even sweeter. To sum it up, Witch Watch Episode 23 is a love letter to anyone who's ever lost sleep, stressed over deadlines, or doubted their own work while chasing a dream. It's about the mess behind the magic, the hard work, the screw-ups, the friends you make, and the moments when you realize that what matters most isn't sales or perfection, but doing it together and putting your heart on the page. And in true Witch Watch fashion, it's all wrapped in warm humor, genuine excitement, and a totally chaotic, wonderful payoff. If you enjoyed this recap, let's hear from you. Which part of the episode hit you hardest? Have you ever had a crazy all-nighter or a creative disaster turn into something wonderful? Drop your story in the comments. Smash that like button if you've ever experienced deadline panic. And don't forget to share and subscribe for more Witch Watch deep dives every week. Thanks for watching, and stay magical.